What's going on, guys? Welcome to this week's frequency upgrade on money. And this one is going to be about pirating your plugins. I'll just say up the front, I'm not gonna slam anyone here. I'm not gonna condemn you. If you are using pirated plugins, if you've downloaded some plugins for free, some cracks, some hacks. I honestly don't even know how easy it is these days. I assume it's still very easy. Back when I was starting out, probably 10 years ago, it was very, very easy to get cracked plugins. And, I'll kick this off by just admitting that in the early days, I think when I started out about my studio, I didn't really have any third-party plugins, I don't think. And then I started getting into a few. I think especially once I worked at a bigger studio in Toronto, and I saw all the Waves plugins that they had and all the plugins they were using. I really wanted those, but of course back then they were a lot more expensive than they are now. It's kind of crazy to see, see plugins going for like $20 each on sale, and it's just constantly happening, like for Waves and other companies, or like $20 a month. And man, I remember paying like $1,200 for the SSL collection or the Studio Classics collection from Waves, and it was TDM version, so it was twice as expensive. And I've got the platinum version or the platinum bundle for $2,000, I think. During that time, I did get some free plugins. Someone came in my studio, and I think I downloaded a couple cracks on my own before, and then I kind of was like, I felt weird about it, and then I kind of deleted them, bought some plugins, and then someone else came in to my studio, and he was like, oh man, I've got all these Wave plugins at home. Do you want them? And I was like, okay, I guess. Like, I'll just to try them out, right? This is kind of the excuse to start. It's like, yeah, I'll just basically use it as like a free trial, and then if I really like it, I'll buy it. So I got a bunch of these free Waves plugins. I had all of them. I actually kind of didn't like it because it was just like overwhelming. Like the amount of new plugins to try all at one time was just like, it was just a total roadblock in my work, because I would just end up just fooling around with trying different plugins instead of actually like getting into the flow and getting into a mix, right? So I didn't keep those for very long, and I was kind of already at the mindset where I didn't want to have cracked plugins, so I got rid of those, and I just stuck with the ones that I bought, which again had the side benefit of, two benefits. Number one, I didn't have the guilt of like having stolen plugins. Number two, it limited my choices, right? I didn't have this like gigantic list of plugins. So why am I talking about this? Why does this apply to your business, to your ability to earn income in the studio? Well, like I said off the top, I'm not going to slam you if you have cracked plugins. I'm sure there are people watching this that you are using plugins that you maybe got for free when you should have paid for them. I'm not really going to talk about the ethics of all that. Like, I think everybody knows, right? You kind of know deep down that like companies invest a lot of money. They have a lot of people on payroll. They've got to pay their bills. They're supporting hundreds of families maybe. And, so it's just the right thing to do to pay for their products. You can look at this two ways. One way is, here's the thing. I think that if you're going to attempt to run a business and charge other people money to come and receive your services, recording, mixing, whatever, you want people to pay you for that. To me, if you're using equipment in order to get that service done, to get that job done, that people are paying you to do, and you're using equipment that is stolen, you're using cracked plugins and cracked software, then how does that line up? Like, that's incongruent. That's not going to work in the long run, and probably not even in the short run. It's just, I don't know if you call it karma, just the way the world, the universe is set up. It could also just be your own psychology. I mean, think about this. Like, how are you going to have the confidence, the guts to go out there, pursue clients, do more work, like do your best work, and convince people that they should go with you to make their record instead of somebody else? How are you going to have the confidence and the guts to go out and do that if in the back of your mind you know that all your stuff is stolen? You're just not going to do it. Whether you're probably not even thinking about that consciously, but subconsciously, I really believe that that's going to be a powerful weight that's like holding you back from actually getting out there and doing that stuff. And if you look at it just a bigger scale, like I also think that there's just something about the way the world is set up, the universe is set up. It's like, how are you going to have that energy between someone? Like, they're going to feel that energy of like, there's a lack of confidence, that you're kind of hiding something, that you're, the fact that you've you've stolen your software, your plugins, and you're trying to get them to pay you to come into the studio. Like, there's going to be some subtle subconscious kind of energy that's coming off you that's going to like translate to other people. It's not going to be good for your business. I mean, if you're not willing to invest the money to run a legit setup with stuff that you've paid for and be a legit business like that, then how are you going to expect clients to come in and pay you good money and come back again and again and tell others about you? Like, maybe it will work in the short run, but in the long run, just, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the universe, karma. I'm not super like woo-woo guy like that, but maybe some of what I'm saying is like that. Try not to get triggered by that and just really think about it. What's maybe happening subconsciously in your mind when this stuff is, when this is going on in your life. It's incongruent. It doesn't line up. It doesn't work. You're not in integrity, and it's not going to allow you to build a successful business long term. I don't know how many of you guys are, or if any, really. I'm assuming there are some, because I've been through there. I've been through the journey. I've used cracked plugins, and then I've gotten rid of them, and then I've just bought them all. And it's kind of a tough pill to swallow, but man, you just feel so much. You feel so much lighter, right? And it feels like a legit business, and it's almost like something will switch in your mind if you have, cracked plugins, and if you've kind of stolen or pirated plugins before. Then I really want to challenge you to start to just clear those out. Start buying some of them, the ones you use most, just buy them and start using the paid versions, and then just get rid of the ones that are free that you don't need. And probably if you're used to pirating plugins and software, you've probably got way too many options. It's probably it's probably affecting your workflow, making your work slower, getting distracted, having too many choices, which is a bad thing. That's really the challenge this week. And honestly, guys, I want you to be able to feel comfortable, to be honest. If you want to drop a comment and be like, yeah, you know what, I've been pirating plugins, I'm going to delete them, I'm going to choose some to stick with and buy, that's fine. Like, I will commend you. We're not going to, in any way in this group, we're not going to condemn people or judge people. I just want you to think at a bigger level than that. Just a bigger level than being, on the high horse of like, oh, I'm never going to pirate any plugins. Like, I'm telling you that I did it before. And then I changed, and it felt better, and I felt like a real business, and I felt like I could go after clients confidently and charge money confidently, and like it was worth it. That's the challenge this week. And we can also relate this to even stuff like training. Like, there's people who have stolen the courses and content that I've put out, and they've put it out there on, torrent sites or whatever. Like, people have told me about this, and there's really nothing I can do about it. But again, that's another thing, is like, you can't expect people to come and pay you for your expertise and your skills if you're not willing to invest anything in yourself. And man, I've talked to a lot of people. I mean, it's not you guys are inside this control room. So I know that you invest in yourself and you take that seriously. But I urge you to continue on that path. Don't ever cut out the self-investment, because you are your number one most important asset. You are the thing that's driving your life and your business and the whole thing forward, right? You need to invest in yourself to keep yourself growing. But I've talked to so many people, whenever I make an offer on a course, I get tons of emails. Oh, it's too expensive. I can't afford that, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, man, when you think about it, it's like people pay tens or possibly up to $100,000 to go to university to learn a skill, to get a job. Meanwhile, a lot of people in this industry, they won't spend $300 to, make their mixes 10 times better or learn how to actually record properly. And then they turn around and complain that they're not getting clients in, right? So start to think about just this. I don't really like to use the words like the way the universe is, or like maybe it's karma. I don't know. Like, I just think I think it's more like psychology. It's just like in the back of your mind, like when you're doing something that's wrong, like stealing plugins, it just affects you. It affects you deep down. There's something that you're hiding. There's something that you don't necessarily want to tell. Like, if someone's coming in to pay you like $300 a day to record, are you going to turn around and be like, hey, guess what, guys? All my plugins are stolen. It's amazing. Like, how do you think they're going to react to that? They're going to be like, okay, well, we're paying you, so why didn't we just steal the plugins and do it ourselves? And that's going to be in the back of your mind, even subconsciously. It's going to be in your heart. You're going to feel that. It's going to block you from really pushing hard enough, really pursuing clients, having the guts to charge what you're worth. All of that stuff that really affects your psychology. Just something to think about. Maybe for you, part of the reason why you haven't been able to get clients and build more of a steady business, maybe it's because you're not investing into your own business and taking it seriously, and not having cracked and pirated plugins or software. So leave a comment below. I mean, I'm sure, maybe you won't want to be dropping below like, oh no, I have all pirated plugins. Even if you do, that's fine. But this is the challenge this week, this month, to start getting rid of that stuff. Start narrowing down, purchase the ones that you're actually going to stick with and use. And I think it's going to be better for your workflow, your quality of your work, and just your psychology. You're just going to feel lighter. You're going to feel free. You're going to feel motivated and confident when you go out there to start doing real business. So that's it. That's today's or this week's frequency upgrade on money. Drop a comment below. Let's get the discussion going, guys. We'll keep talking about this, and we'll see you in next week.